200 alien warships opened fire at once. The space between Earth and the Titan lit up like 1,000 suns. Energy beams crossed the void. Missiles streaked through the darkness. Plasma charges exploded in brilliant colors. Every single shot hit the Titan. The ship didn't even shake. On Vorn's bridge, alarm screamed. "Sir?" Beck shouted. "Their shields aren't taking any damage. Our weapons are doing nothing." "Impossible." Vorn slammed his fist on the console. "Increase firepower. Hit them with everything." The alien fleet fired again. And again. The attacks kept coming like waves against a mountain. The Titan absorbed everything. Its shields glowed briefly with each hit, then returned to normal dot inside the Titan. Captain Drake sat in his command chair. He watched the alien attacks on his screens with calm eyes. Around him, his crew worked at their stations. Nobody looked worried. "Sir," his weapons officer said, "should we return fire?" Drake shook his head. "Not yet. Let them waste their ammunition." A young crew member turned in her seat. "Captain, why aren't we fighting back?" Drake's expression was hard. "Because I want them to understand something first. I want them to realize that all their technology, all their weapons, all their power, means nothing against us. When that understanding hits them, then we'll show them what humanity can do." The alien attack continued for 10 full minutes. 10 minutes of constant fire. 10 minutes of humanity's Titan standing unmoved in the void. Then silence. The alien fleet stopped. Their weapons were overheating. Their ammunition was running low. They had thrown everything at this single human ship, and they had accomplished nothing. Vorn stared at his screens in horror. His 4 eyes were wide. His breathing came fast. "How?" he whispered. "How is this possible?" Bex checked his readings again. "Sir, their shields are still at full strength. We haven't even scratched them." Drake's voice came over the communication channel again. It was still calm, still cold. "Are you finished?" Vorn said nothing. "I asked you a question, Commander," Drake continued. "Are you finished?" Vorn's pride was broken. His voice shook when he spoke. "What? What are you?" "We are human," Drake said simply. "And you attacked our colony. You killed our people. You threatened our home. Did you really think we would build nothing to protect ourselves?" "The Council will hear of this," Vorn said, trying to sound brave. "They will send more ships. Bigger ships. You cannot fight the entire galaxy." Drake laughed. It was not a kind sound. "You still don't understand, do you? Let me show you something." The Titan's forward section began to glow. A single weapon port opened. It was small compared to the size of the ship. Just one weapon among thousands. "This is 1% of our power," Drake said. 1%. The Titan fired. The beam that emerged was pure white. It crossed the space between the Titan and the alien fleet in less than a second. It didn't hit any ships directly. Instead, it passed between them. The shockwave from the beam was enough. 50 alien ships were thrown sideways by the force. Their shields collapsed instantly. Systems failed across the fleet. 3 ships exploded from the overload. Vorn's flagship shook violently. Crew members fell to the floor. Screens shattered. Sparks flew from damaged consoles. When the shaking stopped, Vorn pulled himself up. His hands were bleeding. His pride was gone. All that remained was fear. "You used 1%, he said quietly. "What can you do at full power?" "Something I hope you never see," Drake replied. "Now listen carefully, Vorn. You have one chance. Only one. Take your remaining ships and leave. Go back to your council. Tell them what happened here today. Tell them that humanity will not be conquered. Tell them that if they want peace, we will give them peace. But if they want war, the Titan's weapons ports began to open. Hundreds of them. All across the massive ship, hatches slid back to reveal the arsenal beneath ... We will give them something much worse. Vorn looked at his crew. He saw fear in every face. These were warriors who had conquered worlds. Now they looked like children who had poked a sleeping giant. Retreat, Vorn ordered softly. Sir? Bex asked. Retreat. Vorn screamed. Get us out of here. Full speed. Now. The alien fleet turned and ran. Ships scrambled over each other to escape. Some collided in their panic. Others left their damaged vessels behind. Within minutes, the mighty fleet that had surrounded Earth was fleeing like frightened animals. The Titan watched them go. It did not chase. It did not need to. Drake stood from his chair. Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them the threat is over. For now, what about the Council? His officer asked. They'll come back. Maybe with more ships. Drake walked to the view screen. He watched the alien ships disappear into the distance. Let them come. Let the whole galaxy come. They need to learn something that we've always known. What's that, sir? Drake's reflection smiled in the dark glass. Humanity doesn't start fights, but we sure as hell finish them. Far below, Earth continued to spin, unaware, peaceful, protected. And in the darkness beyond, the galaxy was about to receive some very disturbing news. Humanity had a Titan. And nobody knew what else they were hiding. Vorn's damaged fleet limped through deep space. The once proud warships now looked like broken toys. Smoke trailed from damaged engines. Hull breaches were sealed with emergency patches. The crews inside were silent. On the flagship bridge, Vorn sat in his command chair and stared at nothing. His 4 eyes were dull. He had stopped giving orders hours ago. Sir, Bex said quietly, we're approaching the Council station. They're demanding a full report. Vorn didn't respond. Sir, what do we tell them? Finally, Vorn spoke. His voice was hollow. The truth. We tell them the truth. The Galactic Council station was massive. It floated in neutral space, a symbol of unity among thousands of species. Inside its great hall, representatives from across the galaxy gathered for emergency sessions. Today, the hall was packed. Council leader Trow stood at the center podium. She was old, even by her species standards. She had seen the Council grow from a handful of worlds to an empire spanning half the galaxy. Nothing surprised her anymore, until today. Commander Vorn, she said coldly, you attacked a primitive species without authorization. You lost 50 ships. Explain yourself. Vorn stood before the Council. Every eye in the hall was on him. He felt small, weak, human. They are not primitive, he said simply. Murmurs filled the hall. Representatives whispered to each other. Some laughed. Nonsense, barked Krell, the war chief of the Krell Empire. He was massive, covered in thick armor plates. His species had never lost a battle. We have the intelligence reports. The humans barely have space travel. They have no colonies beyond their system. They are nothing. They have a Titan, Vorn said. The hall went silent. A what? Trow leaned forward. A ship, Vorn continued. Bigger than anything we have. Stronger than anything we've ever seen. Our weapons did nothing to it. Nothing. And they only used 1% of their power to destroy 50 of our ships. More whispers. Louder now. Concerned. Krell laughed. You ran from one ship? One? You didn't see it, Vorn said, his voice rising. You didn't feel it. That ship could have destroyed my entire fleet in seconds. They let us live. They let us live. As a message, What message? Trow asked. That humanity is not weak. That humanity has been preparing. And that if we threaten them again. Vorn paused. His hands shook. ... There will be nothing left of us to retreat. The council erupted in argument. Some called Vorn a coward. Others demanded proof. A few, the wise ones, stayed silent and thought. Trow raised her hand. The hall quieted. We will investigate these claims. Send scout ships to observe Earth from a distance. Do not engage. Do not communicate. Just watch. Krell slammed his fist on his podium. The Krell do not watch. The Krell do not hide. If the humans have one big ship, we will bring 1,000 ships. We will show the galaxy that the Krell fear nothing. That would be unwise, Trow warned. The Krell do not seek wisdom from cowards. Krell turned and stalked out of the hall. His warriors followed. Trow watched him go. A cold feeling settled in her stomach. She had seen this before. Pride before destruction. 3 days later, the scout ships returned. The news they brought made the galaxy tremble. *5, the lead scout said. His voice was shaking. There are 5 Titans. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives shouted. Some fled. Others demanded action. Impossible. Someone yelled. I saw them, the scout insisted. They're hidden in different locations around human space. Each one as big as the first. Each one fully armed. The humans have been building them in secret for decades. Trow felt the weight of this information settle on her shoulders. Where did they get the resources? The technology? That's the frightening part, the scout said. They built it themselves. No help, no stolen technology. Pure human engineering. And according to our analysis. He paused, afraid to continue. Say it, Trow ordered. Asterisk. According to our analysis, each Titan could destroy a council fleet alone. All 5 together could end civilizations. The hall fell silent. The reality was sinking in. Humanity wasn't a primitive species waiting to be conquered. Humanity was a sleeping giant that the galaxy had just poked awake. Where is Krell? Someone asked. An officer rushed into the hall. Council leader. The Krell Empire has launched their war fleet. 3,000 ships. They're heading to Earth. Trow closed her eyes. Fools. Across the galaxy, in a small human apartment on Earth, a young girl named Emma looked up at the stars. She was 7 years old. She knew nothing about Titans or alien empires. She just thought the stars were pretty. Her father stood beside her, his hand on her shoulder. His name was Drake. He had just returned from a long trip in space. Daddy, Emma asked, are there people up there? In the stars? Drake smiled sadly. Yes, sweetheart. Lots of people. Are they nice? Drake thought about Vorn, about the Krell, about the war that was coming. Some are. Some aren't. But don't worry. Why not? Because we'll always protect you. No matter what. High above Earth, hidden in the darkness, 5 massive shapes began to move. The Titans were waking up, and somewhere in deep space, 3,000 Krell warships were about to learn the same lesson Vorn had learned. Never threaten humanity's children. Asterisk. The Krell war fleet arrived at Earth's solar system like a storm of metal and fury. 3,000 ships. The largest military force ever assembled by the Krell Empire. Ships so numerous they blocked out the stars. Weapons that had leveled planets. Warriors who had never known defeat. War Chief Krell stood on his command deck, his massive frame towering over his officers. His armor gleamed with the symbols of 100 victories. Today would be victory 101. Scan the system, he ordered, Find this so-called Titan. His scanner officer worked quickly. Sir, I'm detecting ... Wait. The officer's hands froze on the controls. Sir, there are 5 massive signatures. All around us. 5? Krell laughed. Good. We destroy them all at once. Show these humans what real power looks like. The lights in space changed. From 5 different directions, the Titans emerged from the darkness. They had been waiting, watching. The Krell fleet was now surrounded. Each Titan was a mountain of steel and fury. Their hulls stretched for miles. Their weapons ports numbered in the thousands. Their shields glowed with barely contained energy. On Earth, Drake stood in the command center deep beneath the surface. Around him, dozens of officers monitored the situation. Screens showed the Krell fleet from every angle. All Titans report ready, sir, his communications officer said. Drake's face was stone. Open a channel to the Krell. Krell's image appeared on Drake's screen. The alien war chief was smiling. Ah, the human captain. Come to surrender your pretty ships? I'm giving you one chance, Drake said. The same chance I gave Vorn. Turn around. Leave. Never come back. Krell's laughter boomed through the speakers. The Krell do not retreat. We are warriors. We have crushed entire species. What are you? You are nothing. We are humanity, Drake interrupted. His voice was ice. And you just made your last mistake. Drake closed the channel. He turned to his weapons officer. All Titans. Full power. End this. Sir, the officer hesitated. Full power? That's never been tested in actual combat. Today we test it, Drake said. Fire. The 5 Titans opened fire simultaneously. The universe seemed to scream. 5 beams of pure energy erupted from the Titans. Each beam was wide as a city, bright as a star, hot enough to vaporize asteroids in an instant. The beams cut through the Krell fleet like knives through paper. Ships exploded before their shields could even activate. Entire squadrons vanished in flashes of light. The Krell warriors, who had never known fear, learned what terror felt like. Krell's flagship rocked violently. Half his bridge crew was thrown to the floor. Systems exploded. The lights flickered. Shields. He roared. Shields are failing. Someone screamed back. Their weapons are too strong. Nothing can stop this. The Titans moved through the Krell fleet like predators through prey. They didn't just fire their main weapons. They used everything. Missiles that tracked targets through dimensional space. Pulse cannons that fired faster than thought. Defensive drones that swarmed damaged Krell ships and tore them apart. But it wasn't a battle. It was an execution. Krell watched his fleet die. 3,000 ships. 3,000 ships that had conquered worlds. Now they were wreckage floating in the void. His scanner officer was crying. Sir, we've lost 2,000 ships. No, 2,500. Sir, we have to retreat. Krell do not retreat. The war chief bellowed. A Titan appeared directly in front of his flagship. So close he could see every weapon port, every armor plate, every light glowing with deadly power. Drake's voice came through, calm as death. Yes, you do. The Titan fired a single shot, not at the flagship. Past it. The shockwave destroyed 50 ships behind Krell's position. The flagship itself was thrown sideways, spinning through space like a leaf in a storm. When it finally stabilized, Krell pulled himself up. His armor was cracked. His pride was shattered. How? He whispered. How can you be this strong? Because we had to be, Drake answered. Because we knew, sooner or later, someone would come for us. Someone always does. So we prepared. We built. We made ourselves strong enough that no one would ever threaten our home again. Krell looked at his remaining ships. Less than 300 out of 3,000. What do you want? I want you to go home, Drake said. I want you to tell your people what happened here. I want you to tell the Council. Tell the galaxy. Humanity is not your enemy, but we will never be your victim. And if we come back, Drake's image leaned forward. Then we won't let you leave. Do you understand, Krell? The war chief, who had never bowed to anyone, slowly nodded. Go, Drake ordered. The Krell fleet retreated. What remained of it, anyway? Across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. The Krell, the undefeated warriors, had been crushed by humanity. 3,000 ships reduced to wreckage in under an hour. The 5 Titans hadn't even taken damage. The Galactic Council held an emergency session. Trowel stood before the assembled representatives. We have 3 options, she said. We can fight humanity and risk extinction. We can ignore them and hope they ignore us. Or we can offer peace. Peace, someone scoffed. With species who destroy fleets? Peace, Trowel said firmly. With a species strong enough to destroy us, but wise enough not to. That is the species we should befriend, not fight. The vote was unanimous. 1 week later, Council Leader Trowel arrived at Earth aboard an unarmed diplomatic ship. She met Captain Drake in a simple meeting room. No weapons. No guards. Just 2 leaders talking. Asterisk, we wish to offer a treaty, Trowel said. Peace between humanity and the Council. Trade. Exchange of knowledge. Friendship. Drake studied her carefully. And if we refuse? Then we leave you alone, Trowel said honestly. We're not here to threaten you, Captain. We're here because we made a mistake. We thought you were weak. We were wrong. Now we want to make it right. Drake was silent for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. We accept. But understand this, the Titans stay active. Our defenses stay ready. If anyone threatens Earth again, they won't, Trowel promised. The galaxy has learned its lesson. And it had. The story of humanity's Titans spread to every corner of space. It became legend. Parents told it to their children. Warriors studied it in their academies. Diplomats remembered it during negotiations. The lesson was simple. Never judge a species by how peaceful they seem. Judge them by what they can do when you push them too far. Humanity had seemed weak, small, easy prey. But humanity had built 5 Titans in secret, had prepared for war while hoping for peace, had held back unimaginable power, waiting to see if the galaxy could be reasoned with. When the galaxy chose violence, humanity showed them what real power looked like. And now, the galaxy trembled, not in fear, exactly, but in respect, in understanding, in the knowledge that somewhere out there, orbiting a blue planet called Earth, 5 massive warships waited in the darkness. The Titans were awake, and the galaxy would never forget. Asterisk.